Hey heroes, and welcome to this new world video. With the release of Brimstone Sands just around the corner, I have taken a look at all the Greatswords being added to the game and narrowed them down to a top 10 list. I need to emphasize that this was not an easy task, as there were a ton of amazing Greatswords that you can get, and there will likely be one available for any playstyle. If you'd like to be prepared for future updates, then please subscribe to the channel for more of these guides. So first up, unlike many previous weapons, the Greatsword has some amazing options for named items that can be crafted in the forge. First of these is Craftman's Passion and requires level 170 weaponsmithing and for you to find and salvage the schematic. It requires 14 Asmodeum, 7 runic leather, 10 glittering ebony, and 2 empowered counterbalance. You will also need 3 Azurite chunk and 2 shift hide. It has full dexterity and has vicious to increase critical damage, which will happen a lot with the Greatsword. It also has keenly empowered, providing empower for a short time after critting, and then thwarting strikes dealing extra damage when you have grit, which you will have while using crosscut and calamity counter. If you are using this weapon, as it is full dex, you will most likely have 300 strength for the grit on all light and heavy attacks, and then 50 dex for the 10% increased crit chance. The next craftable greatsword is Breath of the Sky and requires 183 weaponsmithing. It requires 14 Asmodeum, 7 runic leather, 10 glittering ebony, and 2 empowered counterbalance. You will also need 3 Azurite chunk and 2 shift hide. It is full dexterity and has keen to increase your critical chance and vicious to increase the critical damage. It also has the weapon perk Skyward Nullification that removes 1 buff from a foe hit with Skyward Slash and reduces the remaining buffs by 28%, only on non-consumable buffs. The final craftable greatsword is Dismemberment and requires 183 weaponsmithing. This requires 14 Asmodeum, 7 runic leather, 10 glittering ebony, 2 encountered counterbalance. You'll also need 3 void metal and 2 shift hide. It is full strength and has keen for increased crit chance and keenly jagged causing bleed on crits. It also has Trenchant crits, increasing critical damage from the Greatsword from fully charged heavy attacks. It is very powerful on the Greatsword due to the passive on the Onslaught tree, increasing the attack speed of heavy attacks. Next is the Greatsword Blade of the 19th, which you can get from a side quest called Honouring the 19th. You receive this at 610 gear score, and it will be great for corrupted content. It has Corrupted Bane, dealing extra damage to corrupted enemies, and Trenchant strikes, making fully charged heavy attacks deal 20% extra damage. This works well with the passive on the Onslaught tree, making the heavy attacks quicker to perform. Its final perk is Mortal Power, which grants empower for 20 seconds when you kill something. This will be better for fighting clumps of mobs, but will become void on most boss fights, unless they spawn mobs like Crassus in Ennead. Now we have the Blackguard's Greatsword, which is full dexterity. It has Keen to increase the crit chance, paired with Keenly Empowered, granting empower when you do crit, and then Trenchant strikes, dealing extra damage on fully charged heavy attacks. This can be dropped by Kike, which is the largest brigand boss in the Tempest Heart expedition on any difficulty level. Next we have Practice Blows, which is full dexterity. It has Leeching Crosscut, a greatsword weapon perk which causes the final attack of Crosscut to heal you for 70% of the damage done. It also has Enchanted, dealing extra damage on light and heavy attacks, which worked well on the Onslaught tree. And its final perk is Keenly Empowered, increasing damage for a short time after critting. This is dropped from Si Wang the Immovable, who is located in Spileo Cavern in Shattered Mountain, southwest of Mountain Rise Outpost. Now we have Parry, which has full dexterity. It has the weapon perk Energizing Counter, which gives you 28 stamina when activating Calamity Counter. It then has 2 damage boosting perks, Thwarting Strikes, dealing extra damage while you have grit, which you will have at 300 strength for your light and heavy attacks and whilst using Crosscut and Calamity Counter. It also has Vicious, dealing more critical damage. This can be dropped from Shardis, the final boss in the Lazarus expedition, at any difficulty level. The next greatsword on the list, Shockwave, is probably the best one for tanking and has full strength. It has the Despise perk on so you can generate more threat, and then the weapon perk Slowing Rupture, which slows enemies hit with Roaring Rupture by 34% for 5 seconds. This for me would be best utilised when performing Roaring Rupture from the Onslaught stance. This makes it pull enemies towards you instead of pushing them away, and it will allow your teammates with 200 or more strength to get the extra damage from the 200 strength perk. The final perk is Vicious, increasing your critical damage. This is dropped from Archmagister Focus in the opulent section of Mirkgard. It is southeast of the new Mirkgard Shrine near the Tempest Heart expedition. This mob is elite and can be locked behind a portal if it is up, so it is advised to bring at least a full group. Greatsword Sonic Sword has full strength and the weapon perk Relentless Freedom, which removes roots and slows an activation of Relentless Rush. It also increases the crit chance of Relentless Rush by 19%. It has 2 damage boosting perks with Vicious dealing extra crit damage and Keenly Empowered granting more damage for a short time after critting. This can be dropped by Nasha, which is a named elite bear in Ebonscale Reach. It can be located just above Serenity Monastery, which is northwest of Pilgrim's Rest Fast Travel, which is located southwest of Ebonscale Reach. This mob is very tanky and hits hard, so it is advised to bring at least a full group. Final sword on today's list is Downdraft. This has full strength, keen to increase your crit chance, and keenly jagged, which will cause a bleed when you do crit. It also has the weapon perk Skyward Nullification that removes one buff from a foe hit with Skyward Slash and reduces the remaining buffs by 28%, only on non-consumable buffs. This can be dropped from Mayapur, an elite bear who is located in Congregation, which is in the top left corner of Reekwater, northwest of Lazarus Shrine, which is north of Reekwater capital. This mob is very tanky and hits hard, so it is advised to bring at least a full group. I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, let me know in the comments below which of these are your favourite. I'll catch you next time.